ask yourself, could I sell my home for that value if I were to put my house on the market?
Hi folks, welcome back to the Cobb TV studio for another visit with our Chief Appraiser, Stephen White, and a special guest, our Tax Commissioner, Carla Jackson. And Carla, I'm sorry, it doesn't say Tax Commissioner back there. You're a special guest though today, and we appreciate you being here.
Thanks for having me.
And Stephen, we're here because it's another milestone day for your office here in Cobb County.
It is. We are getting ready to mail assessment notices this week. So the vast majority of taxpayers will see their assessment notice arrive this weekend or early part of next week.
Many of us are used to getting those, but when they arrive in the mail, what should I as a homeowner do?
That's a good question. So what we should do is take a look at the value that our office has put on the property for 2023, and then ask yourself, could I sell my home for that value if I were to put my house on the market? And some people may not know the answer to that right away. So the first thing that we would encourage you to do is go to our website, cobbassessor.org, take a look at the data that we have on your property. Make sure that the characteristics are correct, the size, year built, basement information, things like that. The second thing that we encourage folks to do is take a look at the sales that occurred in their neighborhood, their general valuation area. How are properties selling of homes that are similar to yours? And that will help you arrive at if the value that we have is appropriate for your property or not.
The last time we talked, I think the reason that people want to do that, take a look at the numbers in there, is because you said a large portion of them will see increases.
Yes, the vast majority of taxpayers will see an increase. It's over 180,000 properties of our 240,000 residential properties will see an increase. And as everyone is aware, the real estate market has been very, very hot, so the increases can be rather large. And so we're encouraging folks, go and take a look at the sales that have occurred in your area, and that will help you arrive at if you feel that our value is appropriate or not.
And this is something we talked about last time as well, but these increases are manifested not because you want to be mean to people or in any way punish them, but this is what you have to do.
That's correct. Yeah, our job is to place what we feel the property could be sold for on January 1st of the year. So we look at sales that occurred the prior calendar year. So for the value that you're receiving on your assessment notice in May, we're looking at sales that occurred in the 2022 calendar year. So that's what taxpayers will want to focus on, what sales have occurred in that calendar year of properties that are similar to mine, similar age, similar size.
So if I don't like what I see on my assessment, do I have any recourse?
Sure, you can. First thing that I would always recommend is call our office and talk with an appraiser. See what they're seeing. What is it that they use to arrive at the value? What properties did they look at? We can guide taxpayers through that process. If you still feel that the value is not reflective of the fair market value, you can file an appeal. You do only have 45 days to file that appeal. The deadline date is printed on the assessment notice, and you can file your appeal electronically through our website. Again, it's cobbassessor.org.
And once I do that, if I choose to do that, what happens?
We review the information on the property again. We review the sales. We encourage taxpayers to share with us their viewpoints. What sales are they looking at to arrive at the thought process that the value that we have is not appropriate? What is it that they're seeing that perhaps we're not? We want that information. We take a look at everything. Then we make a recommendation in regards to if the value should be changed or not, and taxpayers should get that information late in summer, early fall, a decision on our appeal process. If they're still unhappy, they have the ability to go to the Board of Equalization, which would be later on in the year.
And traditionally, I pay attention to what properties are selling for in my neighborhood. I know some people do, some people don't. But traditionally you said that you have not been overwhelmed with appeals here in Cobb County.
Correct. Yeah, we have a rather low appeal rate, which we're very proud of. We are generally around 1 or 2% of our total parcel count is under appeal every year. And I think that a lot of that has to do with our website, the ability to show folks what sales we're looking at, what sales are occurring in the general valuation area to help people have a good understanding of what value is on their property. And we also want to know, is the data that we have on your property, is that accurate? That's a big part of it.
Right. And the assessments will be arriving in the mail soon. That'll be followed later in the year by a bill from our tax commissioner. And you wanted her to come talk to us because there are some changes this year.
Yeah, I think that there's good news on the horizon. Even though the assessments are going up and we automatically translate that to a larger tax bill, I think that there is some relief that's on the way, and the tax commissioner is well versed in how that program is operating.
So again, thank you for coming, Ms. Tax Commissioner. Explain what's different this year and what we may see when your bills come out.
Absolutely. So as Stephen mentioned, we do have some good news. Back in March, Governor Kemp, in going through the budget process for the state, provided several tax relief to our citizens. One is in the form of income tax relief, which is handled through the Department of Revenue, but the one that is handled through our office is the property tax relief grant. And what that amounts to is basically a reduction in your assessed value of $18,000 on all levies except for bonds and TADs, which for someone in unincorporated Cobb County they would see a reduction in their county general, their county fire, as well as the county school.
So, and there's nothing I need to do, right?
Nothing you need to do. As long as you have a homestead, a valid homestead on your property for 2023, we will handle all of the paperwork for you on the back end. There's no paperwork that citizens have to do.
And this is a one-time?
This is absolutely, thanks for bringing that up. It is a one-time relief grant, and it has to be approved every year. So we're telling folks it is a one-time relief grant for 2023. And if it goes beyond that, it will go through the budget process at the state.
So his assessments go out, and those can be appealed. When your bills go out, there's no appeals process for that in any way.
Absolutely. At that point, it is you've missed the deadline to appeal.
Yeah. And you said there's a scenario where, even though our chief appraiser has said a lot of properties in the county will get increases, this one-time state break will, for some, provide some good relief.
It should. Particularly for someone, say for instance, someone that has school tax, or even if you don't have school tax, when the values go up, Cobb County has a floating homestead exemption. So the increase is reduced in your exemption for the county general. And so basically keeping your taxes flat in county general even as values rise.
Right. So, Stephen White, as you mentioned before, this could end up being for some a net gain on their bills this year.
Yeah, that's very possible that some folks, if you saw no change in value in your assessment notice for 2023 or a small change, and you have a large float because you've been in your home for a long time and you're school tax exempt, it's quite possible that there would be a net gain, or in other words, that your tax bill might be lower in 2023 than in 2022.
So, Ms. Tax Commissioner, as you're here, is there anything else you'd like to add?
Yeah, so I would like to encourage our citizens to be aware that when our bills go out in August, they will look slightly different as a result of this tax relief grant. So on our tax bills, they will see an additional column on the tax bill where we actually show them the calculation of the tax relief grant savings in county general, county fire, and school. And for most citizens, that will be a little north of $500.
So we're getting mail from him in the next couple of days. When do we get mail from you?
Right. So citizens can expect to get their tax bills no later than August 15th.
And they're due?
They are due October 15th.
Okay. Wow. All right. Well, appreciate you both coming in. That's some good information. And again, we'll be looking for your letter in the mail here very shortly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.